Hey guys, it's been quite a while, I know. Sorry about that. My life has been pretty crazy over the last couple of years. There have been some big changes for the good, and some big changes that weren't so good. But just wanted to go through some of those changes um, and talk about the future of my life and the channel. So hopefully you're here for it. So to start with, I should address the elephant in the room. Or more like the lack of the elephant in the room. So, early last year, I had bariatric surgery. I have since lost about 150 pounds, which is pretty awesome. Now for the not so good news. A few months ago, I suddenly found myself single after a 16-year relationship. That sucks. But it did cause me to reprioritize, think about what I want out of my life, and it's not this. I am in the office, my favorite room of my giant 4-bedroom house, which I have decided is just way too big for me and my cats. I have 2 of them. So I have decided to sell this house and with some of that money pay off what's left on the mortgage, of course, and pay off my truck and pay some of my other debts. But dude, if you're selling your house, where are you going to live? Well, that's the crazy part. So me and my mom have 20 acres of property in Montana. Now, it's always been my goal as a retirement plan to move up there, build myself a little cabin, and retire up there. Well, I've decided retirement's coming early. Not really, I'm still going to have to work my butt off, but anyway, I am going to take what's left over from selling the house, use my skills to build myself a little cabin up there. And when I say little, I mean little. I wouldn't even call it a tiny house. It's more of a micro house. Right now I'm thinking it's probably going to be about 16 by 16 feet. I'm building it in such a way that I can add on if I want to in the future. But for right now, that's all I really need is just one room, very simple kitchen, wood stove, and a bed, chair, TV, fridge. Yeah, anyway, but anyway, yeah, I've decided to build myself a little homestead up there. Now I know some people, because I've already gotten this a lot from friends. Oh, buy yourself a shed and turn it into a cabin, or get a shipping container and convert it. Alright, I'm a bullheaded man. Back when I was younger, I did help with Habitat for Humanity, making houses. Of course, I didn't do it on my own, but I have the skills. I know what I'm doing. Some of it's taken a little studying to refresh myself, but I think I can build something small like that fairly quickly and fairly cheaply. I've actually priced out lumber, and building it myself is actually cheaper than buying a shed before finishing. Anyway, so the property does have a well, and it does have grid power, which I'm planning on, once I'm set up, only using as a backup, but I'll get into that in a little bit. I am learning about solar power, because I'm hoping to go mostly solar, maybe a little wind power. There's some geothermal ideas I'm looking at. And I'm going to have a lot of modern conveniences. I'll have my TV, I'll obviously have my computer, my recording equipment, refrigerator, there'll be a small one. Anyway, but I am doing my build. I've been studying a lot about how they lived back in the 1800s. kind of planning my build in mind of if for some reason all of a sudden there is no power, I'll still be able to live pretty comfortably. So like I said, wood stove, I'll probably have a lot of oil lamps and plenty of lamp oil, things like that. So that brings me to the future of the channel. You may have noticed I've changed the name of the channel to the Off-Grid Author. Now, I know I said we have grid power on the property, which is great. But like I said, I'm going to be planning to use that only as a backup. Primarily, my power is going to come from solar. I also have a generator I can use if I need to. I'll be using propane. I've got some other ideas, crazy ideas that I've been researching, but I'll do videos on those in the future. But don't worry, for those of you who've been with me for a long time, this is still a writing channel. Actually, it'll be more of a writing channel because, I'll be honest, with things been going on in my life, how busy I've been, I haven't done a lot of writing in the last couple of years. Well, once I'm living in the wilds of Montana, when I'm not taking care of the homestead, I'm planning on getting a lot more writing done. Maybe I'll actually finish a book for once. And that's what I'm hoping is the new lifestyle will give me the opportunity to live life the way I want to. So I've decided, in addition to my writing, I'm going to start including videos on my other hobbies and interests. One thing that I know how to do is 3D printing. Not always the best at it. I have plenty of failures, but I'm going to be doing videos on 3D printing as it pertains to making things for the homestead. Say I want to build a wind turbine. I could make blades for that. Latches, hinges, things like that. There's all kinds of things that I could 3D print and just run off real quick and not have to run to the hardware store. Then, of course, for things that I can't make out of plastic, I've been a blacksmith, an amateur blacksmith, for many years. What I make isn't the prettiest, but it's usually functional. So I'll be doing videos on that, plus a video on building a blacksmith shop, or probably a series of videos on building a blacksmith shop. Then I have my laser engraver. I like, making stuff out of wood, cutting boards, all kinds of things. I've also etched some glass with it. It's not powerful enough to cut glass, but I can manage to etch stuff. So I'll be making stuff with that. Of course, living on a homestead, I will be building things. Obviously my cabin, that's priority. But then there'll be animal pens, barns, storage sheds, you name it. Again, I have that construction experience. I am a decent gardener. My garden this year was, not going to call it a failure. It is producing, but not nearly as much as I had hoped to. But mostly that's because of things that have been going on in my life. I also have a medium harvest right freeze dryer that I bought with the intent of preserving what comes out of my garden. I'm hoping to have quite a bit coming out of my garden. I was hoping to have it this year, but I planted late, and I haven't been the best about tending it because of the things that have been going on. So forgive me for that, but I'll do a video on what my garden looks like this year. It's kind of sad and pathetic, but next year, hopefully it'll be a lot bigger and a lot more productive. I love to cook. With my schedule right now, I don't always have time to cook. Plus, having the bariatric surgery and it just being me, I don't eat a whole lot anymore. So sometimes cooking seems like a waste of time, but I'm learning to make big batches of stuff and just eat on them for a while. Hiking. Hiking is another thing I love. Again, I have not had time to do it, but I'm hoping to do some hiking videos. My property, like I said, is 20 acres, but a lot of it is wild. I'm guessing out of the 20 acres, we probably have 5 to 10 that are usable land, and the rest is forested trees and stuff. And we're not planning on changing that. We're not going to go clearing the trees. We got clearings to build stuff and grow some crops and whatnot. Have our animals, but we like living in the forest. I do like archery. Another hobby I haven't had a lot of time to do lately, but up there, whenever I'm bored, I can go out, do some archery. I've been going to an axe house here in town and throwing axes, so that might be fun to have a target there. What else? Motorcycles. Some of you guys may have watched some of my motorcycle videos. I'll do some more riding videos, but also with any kind of vehicle, you have to do maintenance. So I will probably be doing some videos on that as I have to fix my bikes. The next one I'm not sure about, but hear me out. I do like to sing. Several lives ago, I was a singer in a rock band back shortly after high school, maybe while I was still in high school. Anyway, I sing a lot of rock and heavy metal. Not so much interested in doing that now, but I might do some videos where I'm singing. I might upload those to TikTok. I might do them. I don't know. Also, I have my camper van, my '99 Astro. It's a work in progress, but I'm hoping to do some videos on fixing that up, getting that built out, and hopefully taking some trips in it. I also, in my garage, in pieces right now, is the 1973 Chevy Nova that took my mom to the hospital when I was born. So that car has always been pretty special to me. It was also my first car when I got my license, and I'd really like to work on getting it back on the road. Probably not going to get it show quality, but I'd like to have it in decent shape. Now there's the things that I'm learning. Leatherwork. I've dabbled in it. I think the first time I worked with leather was back in the Boy Scouts, and over the years I've kind of played with it, but never got really into it. But there are all kinds of uses for leather items on the homestead. Of course, we're going. You can't have a homestead without animals, so we're looking at raising some animals: chickens, ducks, goats for milk. Possibly some rabbits. Don't know if bees are considered livestock, but I'd like to have some honeybees. One, just to have the honey, but two, brewing mead and beer. I'll probably do some videos on that. I would like a mini Highland cow, but I don't know if that's going to happen, but man, they're cute. Of course, raising animals, you have to learn how to breed them, animal husbandry. There's a lot that goes into that, and not gonna lie, and gonna have to take that slow and probably species by species. Meat processing. If we do the rabbits, they're gonna be for meat and for their hides. And if I do a video on that, I will have a disclaimer because I know it can be disturbing. The thought of it is not my favorite, but it's one of those things that I'm probably going to have to get used to. Again, meat processing, but to go hand in hand with that, tanning hides, particularly the rabbit hides. I hate to waste anything, and if I can make a nice blanket or coat out of their hides, then I'd rather do that than just have it go to waste. Canning. I have had the equipment for both kinds of canning, water bath and pressure canning, up in my attic for years, and I've never used them. I'm going to change that. Again, I have the freeze dryer, but I'd also like to learn canning. Any skill that I can learn, I want to learn it. Woodworking, of course, building stuff, but also maybe making myself a nice rocking chair. Just all the skills that you'd have to have on the homestead. There are some crops that I want to grow. Now, the land on our property is not great. It's mostly bentonite clay over prehistoric sandstone. We know it's prehistoric because in doing some digging with the excavator, we dug up some leaf impressions of magnolia trees, which haven't existed in the area in a long, long time. But anyway, since the soil isn't great, obviously we're going to do some amendments. But I'm looking right now at crops that are known to grow in not great soil. Sorghum is one, both for grain, and there's a different type for syrup. I'll probably focus on the grain because you can grind it into flour, you can feed it to the chickens. There's lots of stuff you can do to it. You can pop it like popcorn even. The other thing is Jerusalem artichokes. Same thing, they're supposed to do well in crappy soil. And supposedly once you get them going, they're hard to get rid of, which I'm okay with. Of course, with growing crops and gardening, composting is important. Again, living on the homestead, you don't want to waste anything, and why would you throw away perfectly good free fertilizer? And especially since we have bad soil, we're going to want to amend that soil. Also, herbal medicine. That's something that I know in theory, but I'd like to get better practiced at it. I'm not against store-bought medicine, but what if there's ever a time where you can't just go down to the pharmacy? Also, to go along with my singing, I've been thinking about picking up a cheap guitar, learning that, possibly a banjo one time. I don't know. It seems like a good thing to do, sitting on my rocking chair on my porch. Sewing. Now, this is something my mom can hopefully teach me. She was a seamstress for many years, and she doesn't do it a whole lot anymore, but hopefully she can at least guide me. Not something I'm going to do a lot, but it would be nice to have the knowledge to make my own clothes. So that brings us to the last part of this video. I know I said I'm going to retire early, but let's be realistic, I'm going to need some income. I'm hoping to have enough money left over to live on for a little bit after I move, but I'm going to need to be bringing some money in. Now, living up there with the land already bought and paid for, and producing my own food, or most of my own food, I should be able to live fairly cheaply, but that's not to say I'm not going to need money coming in. So, obviously, priority one is going to be busting my butt to finish some books and get them published. Probably self-published on Amazon, maybe some other places. Unless some publisher out there wants to publish me professionally, but I think Amazon's the way to go, or self-publishing. Freelance writing, it's not as fun as writing fiction, obviously, but once you get established, it'll pay the bills, at least till AI takes over. I'm going to try selling some of my laser engraving. I've thought about trying to sell the 3D printing stuff, but that gets tricky. So unless you're good at designing your own 3D prints, you can't really just go online, get a file, and start selling it. You have to license it, or at least get permission. And 9 times out of 10, anything that you can license, there's already 100 people already who have licensed it and are making it and selling it. And there's a lot of competition for the same thing. And but I might see what I can do with that. Obviously, my blacksmithing. even if I'm just making basic stuff around the house, wall hooks, door handles, hinges, toilet paper holders, whatnot. So all this handcrafted stuff I'm going to be selling both online, probably on an Etsy store, and at craft shows where I'm moving to in the closest town. There's a pretty decent sized flea market every week that supposedly gets pretty good attendance. So planning on being there every week. Also, it'll get me off the homestead and socialize me a little bit. Now the next one. I am hoping to monetize this channel. I know. But it would be nice if I get some income coming in through YouTube. So please subscribe. Anyway, it's just kind of a no-brainer. I'm hoping that you'll get value out of these videos and not just subscribe out of pity. But if it's pity, just subscribe anyway and watch my videos. I'm kidding. Also, for several years since it first came out, I've had a Amazon merch store that I haven't really done anything with. I'm going to design some t-shirts to put up on there, some to do with the channel, some that are just fun. I also might do some on Printify, other places, but anyway, if you want to support the channel that way, please, I'll put a link once I have my store set up, and put it on this video and other videos. And I'm looking into all kinds of other ways to make money, but I am ready to work for myself. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I've got a few more videos already in the queue, so hopefully you'll like those ones too. And I promise this time I'm going to try to make a habit out of posting videos. Not just to get your subscriptions and that sweet YouTube money, but nice to share my life with you guys, and I hope you're interested in coming along for the ride. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.